I mean, who is this for? Don't you know anything about Star Wars fans? Star Wars Hunters even. It's a competitive arena style game developed by the Zynga for the Nintendo Switch. So at least it's going to be over there where we don't have to worry about it. It's also going to be developed for your iPhone and your Android phone. So already you can sniff the fucking crazy amounts of microtransactions, loot boxes, pay to win mechanics, time skippers, all this kind of crap that's going to be in this. Might not be in the Nintendo Switch version, though Nintendo these days are pretty much leaning more and more into the kind of MOBA style games of monetizations, and they're getting a bit silly with it. I expect the Mario games of the future to be a bit like Breath of the Wild, but more on the you pay to, well, more like Genshin Impact, basically. Like, hey, you can just pay for all this items so you don't have to grind. So, this game looks absolutely, well, we don't know what the game, I mean, it might surprise everyone, but come on, how many arena games have blown us away lately? They just don't. It's just a dead genre that really just, it doesn't set the market alight. I mean, you were literally better off going, it's a battle royale. And people might have been like, ooh, okay, we've milked the battle royale genre, but this one's Star Wars, so we might buy it. But instead you do a combat arena game and it's like, who cares? Who cares? What's the game that came out recently that was supposed to be like a cross between Overwatch and CSGO? I forgot what it's called. When they had like magical powers and that flopped hard. And what did they do with that? Well, Angry Joe did a perfect video on that. On the insane prices for boo! Guns and the like. And this is going to be no different. I guarantee you there'll be videos in the future looking at it going, you want how much for a purple lightsaber? How much for a hilt? What? Get the fuck out of here. And yet some idiot in the corner is going to buy it because FOMO, fear of missing out, in the games industry is among the worst I have ever seen. It's like a non-existent scarcity marketing, which people do, especially in the trainers industry or sneakers. If you're watching this from the States, where they'll do like this limited time, limited edition trainers, and go out and buy them. And then never come back again, even though they eventually do come back again, especially if they sell really well, because they're like, well, if we put this back out in the market, it's going to sell really well. Gamers are like that. They're like, oh my god, I'm never going to see this digital product that I'm going to likely replace within a couple of weeks anyway. I must buy it now. And these companies prey on that, and I guarantee you Star Wars Hunters is going to be no different. I've only seen a trailer so far. I haven't seen anything. It's just an announcement, so obviously it won't be out for quite some time. I think, no, initial release date 2021, so that means it's going to be coming out for the Christmas period, and I'll be surprised if I'd be more surprised if people bought this more on the Switch than they did on iOS and Android, and I expect it to probably be free on mobile, so Lord. Anyway, and this is before I even comment about the terrible script of the trailer, this what I call the Brosian style of script writing, which is like this kind of style of like late 90s, early 2000s, actually 90s style writing of like, I got this, bro, don't worry, man, hey, yo, oh, I'm gonna, yeah, this kind of really patronizing, dumbed down, doesn't know its target audience, the terrible voice acting that goes in it, it's I call it Brosian because it just feels like it's so stupid. And, unfortunately, a lot of Disney products are kind of rife with this kind of style of writing. This, we think we need to talk to the audience like they're a bunch of fucking idiots, or we need them a bit more animated in their expression, but it comes across as really dumb. But we're not here to talk about my nitpicking on writing styles and all of that. We're here to talk about another combat arena game that nobody's gonna fucking play. I'll be amazed if it makes any kind of waves. On the Marvel side, same company that owns it, but we got a trailer for Wolverine, and that game is gonna be violent. They confirmed that it's going to be mature rating, so I'm guessing blood. Obviously not, Wolverine's dick swinging everywhere. But it's obviously going to be blood. Will there be dismemberment? One can only hope. But it's Disney, so don't count your stars there. Because they were very specific with Jedi Falling Order that the Jedi cannot dismember anyone. Kind of rendering the lightsaber useless, really. I don't know what it is. Disney can let a lot of things slide with Marvel, but with Star Wars, they're very boxed in making it geared towards children. And now I've said this a million times before, a property that people grew up on, that if you don't grow with that generation, eventually it's just going to fizzle out and die. How many times have they tried it with He-Man? Even the recent Revelations, the script was so fucking bad. The premise was interesting, but it was so poorly executed and so poorly written. It treated the audience like they're still kids. Alright? And I always say, you have to She-Ra things. Now, She-Ra got a remake a couple of years ago, and that really set the bar. The writing was superb. The animation style may not have been to my liking, but it was really well written. It didn't talk down to the children that it was geared towards. And here we have things for adults that are talking. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent now. But Star Wars, let's see what the future brings. At the moment, Fallen Order just about piqued interest. That was a good game, even though it had issues with its combat styles. This one, I suspect, will just fall under the radar. Ubisoft's Star Wars game, I have no hope for whatsoever. They are the shittest games company around, bar none, in terms of just making the most boring, uninteresting, bland, pointless open world games that I've ever played. Alright, and let's see. Star Wars Hunters, do you really care about it? I don't.